The real honest truth is I haven't hit a squat PR in probably 3 years, you know?
All right. Catch up the viewers. Tell us what's been your experience so far. How did it start off?
I mean, started off doing everything incorrectly, you know? A lot of cues, bumps in the roads, you know, miscommunications.
But
I've
usually
noticed
one
that
thing.
me and you, we have different learning curves. Like, that being said, it's easy for us to stay on track and just keep slamming that nail into the coffin, man, until I can learn it right.
How long we've been working now at Darien on the squat?
It's been 12 weeks.
So I was looking at the footage while you were editing, while you're cutting it up, and I haven't looked at it since we initially recorded it. Yeah. Man, dude, I forget about how bad it was.
Ooh, I know you heard that crack.
It was so bad, bro. Like, you couldn't even get to the bottom position properly. You know, you'd come up on your toes.
Dude, my heels just keep coming up off the ground. It doesn't make any sense.
Now I look at your squat, and it's like I'm thinking like it's got these small things to fix. Yeah. Man, when Darien first started, it was like everything needed to be like thrown out, basically. Your hips are way too forward. Get them back more. Way more, way more. Your lower back is too rounded. Stick your butt up a little bit more. Now get your knees back and your hips back.
That's all I got.
What is it that's stopping you from being able to get your hips back more?
My tailbone.
It's like almost all wrong, you know? The small things he's got to work on are getting his knees forward a little bit early and getting his hips back more. Sometimes he allows his lower back to loosen a little bit. Darien's mid back and lower back are having a hard time keeping tight. Man, when Darien first started, you were dive bombing into the bottom, into the hole, going too deep. We got Darien stopping a little bit higher now. I know Darien gets a little bit nervous about not going all the way as deep as he can. Are you still worried about like depth?
That's like the judge's worry.
Okay.
At this point, if I can learn how to do whatever you're saying correctly,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going for it.
Can't remember a single time where you squatted and I thought, no, got to get lower.
Yeah.
Not even like once.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. The problem before was letting yourself get too loose into the bottom.
In the bottom, right.
And now I feel like that's not really happening too much anymore. Most of the looseness in Darien's squat right now at the bottom is like moving forward, like dipping forward at the bottom. A lot of times when Darien dips forward, his hips and everything will kick back first before he starts going up. Have you noticed that in any of the videos?
Well, yeah, I see it's like trying to realign.
Yeah.
But it's, if I could like get rid of that movement entirely, then we don't have to realign, you know?
Yeah, exactly. What would you say was the hardest part in the beginning when you were learning?
Dude, I think the hardest part was like unlearning. Obviously developed a lot of bad habits early on, just squatting however I wanted to without trying to do things correctly. That was the hardest thing for sure. So even right now, unlearning bad habits, you know?
What was the cue that you had the hardest time getting used to?
I think it's still a cue that I'm having a hard time with, and that's hips. And that's trying to get my hips further enough back into the squat to keep everything else aligned, you know? That and my hand placement. Dude, I want to play with that grip, man, so bad. Trying to find like a really good hand placement and keeping it consistent without the bar rolling.
I noticed that you're using like the heel of your hand. I think the bar is way too low on your back, man. I think you should raise it like an inch. You mentioned when you were looking through the footage, there was a lot of you like being frustrated.
Can we get 3 out of the last 5 reps down? Can we please? I mean, dude, it's love-hate relationship with squat, you know? Never been really that good at it, and you know, it's tough because the real honest truth is I haven't hit a squat PR in probably 3 years, you know? And I started lifting maybe 4 years ago. So that's hitting a squat PR in your first year and not hitting one since, you know? It's tough. The mental barrier, the physical barrier, and trying to learn new techniques to maybe hopefully that one is better for my body than other ones, and yeah, trial and error and stuff like that. It's not easy, but it's what I'm here for.
How has learning squat been different from learning, say, like the deadlift?
I think things just clicking. Yeah, things haven't really clicked that well, so just like finding the right rhythm. As far as deadlifts, I feel like more like a natural athlete at it, where I don't know, it doesn't really matter what stance. I feel like I got the weight, you know. So, I've had my ups and downs with bench, but for the most part, she's been very loyal. It's like I can always rely on my technique and things to stay within the range that I know I can hit.
And Darien would get all bent out of shape and be like,
You know how frustrating that is? That if I laid down and put this on my chest, I would press it for 8 times, but I can't even sit down and stand up with it once. Right. Fucking stupid. God damn it.
there's less reason to be frustrated now. And I think it seems to me like your frustration levels are less than they used to be.
I agree, man. Yeah, I think, dude, it's funny, man. You never get to watch yourself, and watching some of the videos in the past, it's like, man, just chill. You'll get there. Just be more patient. Like, I was a little bit harder on myself, but
Yeah, I think that now, before you had probably like a good 6, 7 cues that you had to fix.
yeah,
Now it's you're down to like 2, 3, major ones.
yeah, yeah,
So there's less to think about in general. Anyway, we just want you thinking about one thing.
yeah. There's just a few things that could be better. Yeah.
Yeah, the weight's starting to get pretty heavy now, and you're still moving the bar pretty easily, so
Yeah.
it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty optimistic about your future, especially because you just hit a little bump in the road with your sickness.
Like headed?
It's not good.
Your sickness and, like not being able to eat the way you wanted to.
Yeah. I think, man, dude, it's so crazy how I felt those couple weeks, man. It's cool to come to the gym and push through things, but like honestly, I shouldn't have. Like the headaches I was getting at the gym and stuff like that. That was not cool, man. It's like
Yeah. I saw it in your face a few times, man. You made grimaces that I had never seen, even like in your heaviest sets ever, And it would be after your set was over.
yeah,
I could just see like your brain trying to get out of your skull or something,
yeah, man. That was tough, but I mean, dude, yeah, bumps in the roads, push through it, get better, dude. To me, man, I think my body loves the routine of like being on track,
Yeah.
So being on track is eating right, sleeping right, doing all the right things, and when I could do that in a good amount of days, string them together, dude, it's like my body could snap back and be like back to 100% again,
Yeah. I was happy with your progress in the first 3 weeks, even though you weren't. I was like, all right, because, I've worked with a lot of people, and for some people, man, it could be like a whole month and their squat, it just moves sideways. Like, it's not better, it's not worse, it's just like,
Yeah.
they're just kind of creating new problems. So with you, I felt like you were just constantly fixing stuff, so I saw it as you were just constantly improving.
You give me a little too much credit. I mean, there was definitely like fixes into new mistakes, into more mistakes, into new fixes and stuff like that,
How much longer do you expect to go on this powerlifting run?
Man, dude, I don't know, man. I know I was talking to Eric about doing some hypertrophy in January, and that's going to be like running this block all the way through and seeing where I am, and then cutting a little bit and just working on straight technique.
Mm-hmm.
And then giving that maybe 8 to 12 weeks, and then running, like upping the food and then getting back on track again.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
My biggest concern with powerlifting is just frying your CNS, man. It's, I can't tell from an outsider's perspective how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because 12 weeks on a powerlifting program, especially because you do quite a bit of volume too.
Yeah.
And I could see it being very taxing,
What do I want to do? Play Madden.
Like you kind of know that the writing's on the wall usually. You want to take a break?
Yeah, we can record another time.
Okay.
We still got some good stuff, right? On the right track, I think.
On the right track.
I think that's where we're at right now for sure. Come get your Buddy Builders t-shirts. We live, baby.